The Democrats won. I'm mildly surprised. I won't elaborate as to why, but I want to point something out here. I received a lot of negativity over my choice not to vote. These complaints can be summed up as, if you don't vote, don't bitch. This is the stupidest thing I've heard this week. I'm still a citizen. Enough said. Anyway, Democrats made the mistake that pissed me off about the Republicans, seeking gains through short-term goals. They based their entire campaign on the war in Iraq, Mark Foley, and blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. I recognize that the Dems will change the strategy in Iraq, which is a good thing, for the short term. I also recognize Bush has capitalized on this by asking Rumsfeld to step down. There will be a tremendous shift in Iraq policy, staying the course no longer the strategy. This is all great, and it's kind of what I wanted, but what will come of it? The Republicans' only platform over the past 5 years has been the war on terror, which has been a miserable failure, causing an immense increase in terrorism around the world. The Dems will change the strategy, but what will they do to quell the anti-Americanism in the long term? Pelosi has already said impeachment is not a possibility. Are the Dems going to repeal these torturous bills passed by the Republicans that destroyed the high standing of the Geneva Conventions, or perhaps the Military Commissions Act? Maybe they'll change America's image by intervening in Darfur or Palestine, or maybe they'll try and mend their relations with people around the world to make the long term look better. I think not. They will use this initial power to spite the Republicans, regardless of what they've stated on that subject. The war in Iraq is important, but out of the hundreds in Congress, the Senate, and countless individuals in the government working to shape America, none can spare a few minutes to think of anything but how to obtain victory in Iraq? Domestic issues are important too. It's the usual thing, better health care, blah, blah, always added in to the campaign's point. But really, what are they doing to change the world? Being the leaders of one of the most powerful nations upon it. At this point, they don't concern themselves with it. Haven't for years, Republican or Democrat. Even the libertarians get this end of my criticism, always sounding as if they want to isolate America and concentrate solely on our problems. The only time America really seemed concerned with foreign stability was during the Cold War, and they really weren't concerned with it then. They caused a lot more problems. Well, maybe they didn't really seem that concerned. Anyway, the war on terror isn't about stability abroad. That's clear. It's about security at home, they say. Of course it's about money, but if they were really interested in making the big bucks, wouldn't they want to open more trade and offer superior products and service industry? When you place a stranglehold, for instance, over the Latin American economy for so long, they will rebel, as they are in Bolivia and Venezuela. This policy simply doesn't work. The tyrant shall be laid to rest so long as it occupies itself with its own gain and the exploitation of all outside of its borders, and lately within. This model for an economy and policy will fail. If Americans are truly too lazy to stand up to it, rest assured the citizens of the world will do it for them. No, they don't have all the money, material things, credit, job tenure, but lack of these things makes them free to rebel without loss. They have nothing to lose. So I will say to anyone who challenges my choice not to vote, it's because I look into answers from the past and goals for the future, not the problems of the present as a means to take action. Voting is not taking action. Taking action is becoming informed and spreading your knowledge and outlook. Taking action is not just demanding the Dems do what they promised, which is to solve the Iraq problem. Taking action is demanding that they fix the problems of American foreign and domestic policy, repealing the unjust laws passed by Bush, intervening in ongoing problems other than Iraq like Palestine and Darfur. Will they do these things? No, because they are politicians with specific agendas, unwilling or incapable of thinking outside of current events. I personally will never support anyone who doesn't look into the pressing issues that will topple this nation should they continue on ignored. Standard diplomacy, like Rice visiting Israel and Lebanon and making requests for peace, is not going to work. If America wants to push its policy on the world, they will have to start doing it in the interests of the world, not for homeland security. Then they will find the whole world will stand beside them, as they did on the 12th of September 2001. Until then, we are on our own, fighting it out between red and blue, and even green. I don't need to vote for representation. All parties should have the same ultimate goals. Not voting doesn't take away my right to bitch. In fact, I have more reason to. Their job is to represent me, regardless of the choices I make. And they have yet to represent me, or you. Until they do, I will not encourage them into thinking they have. And I'm sure most of you listening can agree with that. One more thing. The whole vote for the lesser of two evils thing is retarded. I just hope that if I'm ever on trial for something, you guys are in the jury box, So if the sentence could be 3 years, maybe 10 years, you'll vote for the lesser of the two evils and give me 3. Vote for representation, not lip service. Peace.